Good news for Eritrea, which has been under some sanctions for years, and some of these sanctions are being quietly lifted according to some Eritrean government backed sources. Secondly, what is happening in Ethiopian PM's hometown, Jimma? Businesses closed, merchants suffering there, economic activity disrupted. What is happening in Jimma? Let's start from Jimma, viewers. Jimma is Ethiopian PM Abiy Ahmed's hometown. His family, they're from there, he's from there, and he has a huge following in Jimma. A few 3 days ago, we saw when he took Italian Prime Minister Giorgio Meloni to Jimma, that people lined up along main roads to welcome him. Some of these crowds are definitely arranged by PP, but uh, he does have a following there because it's his hometown, Jimma. Now, in his hometown, Jimma, businesses are closed. Merchants are being forced to close their shops. What happened? Well, what we have learned from Jimma is that the government is forcing traders, merchants to buy Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam bonds. The merchants are being told that if they don't buy good bonds, their businesses will be closed. And businesses have been closed. Authorities are telling them, go buy good bonds, show us the proof, and then you can open your shops. This is how the dam is being built. Good, which is a landmark achievement of the Ethiopian government, Ethiopian people. The inauguration of GERD approaching in September. It is due to be inaugurated. Egypt intensifying diplomatic campaign to force Ethiopia to sign a legally binding agreement over GERD. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdel Latte is in the US these days. Egypt has announced it won't attend GERD's inauguration ceremony. On the one hand, Egypt trying all its tactics to stop the inauguration, to force Ethiopia to sign an agreement. On the other hand, Ethiopian government is forcing its people to buy GERD bonds. Why? To fund the GERD's inauguration ceremony, because dam has been completed now. I don't think that government needs more money to construct it. It's construction complete, I think. If it's expanded, if power generation is expanded, maybe government could need funds. Now, similar measures were adopted in Oromia to force traders to open their bank accounts at Sinke Bank. Sinke is a bank established in the Oromia region, and within a short period of time, this bank has turned into a large financial institution. It's from Oromia. Its investors, founders are from Oromia. People in power are behind the steps of this bank. So Oromia government, PP has been forcing traders to open their accounts at Sinke Bank and to carry out all their financial transactions through this bank. This is how financial institutions operate in Ethiopia. And in a video a few hours ago, I told you about what is happening in a later development. We know that Shimalis Abdisa passed some controversial remarks about private property rights. He said if government acquires land for private for public use, no compensation will be given. It wasn't given in the past. It won't be given in future. So this is the situation of basic rights in Oromia, basic financial rights. Financial autonomy of an individual is being denied. Now is Eritrea. When you talk to pro-government Eritrean supporters, loyalists, they always say that since Eritrea has been under sanctions, it could not develop. If Eritrean economy could not flourish, US is the culprit. Ethiopia culprit too, because Ethiopia, in alliance with US, imposed swift sanctions on Eritrea. Eritrean banks cut off from international banks. How can Eritrea flourish as a country economically? This is what they say. According to pro-Eritrean government sources, swift restrictions are quietly being lifted on Eritrean banks. Quietly. Eritrean banks are now being allowed to use SWIFT. What is SWIFT? SWIFT is Society Worldwide International Financial Telecommunication. Around 11,000 banks in 200 countries are interconnected through this system. Banks communicate with each other through this system. So if you are cut off from SWIFT, if your country is cut off from SWIFT, it means that your banks cannot communicate with other banks in other parts of the world. Yes, cutting off financial institutions from SWIFT has a serious impact on financial transactions and the ability of the banks to reach out to the world, to engage the world. We cannot deny that. Italian delegation visited Eritrea 2 days ago. We saw some meetings. Isas Savuki visited Italy last year. So growing relations between West and Eritrea uh, have led to this change in Western policy that quietly Eritrean banks are being reintegrated. Question is, if SWIFT restrictions are lifted, which are being lifted according to the pro-government supporters, will that lead to prosperity, economic progress in Eritrea? I doubt that. I don't think that SWIFT restrictions were the only reason behind no economic progress in Eritrea. There's some other countries too who survive without SWIFT. Kenya, some other countries, they remain under sanctions, but they managed to survive, they managed to prosper economically. Eritrean case is the case of a government which wants to take control of all the resources, financial resources. It does not believe in giving financial autonomy to individuals, to institutions in the country. It won't allow diaspora. By the way, who is stopping the government from allowing diaspora to invest in Eritrea? Is diaspora saying that Eritrea should be removed from SWIFT first and then we'll invest? No, they never said that. They said we're ready to invest, but we want guarantees. Who will protect our investment? You need to give us sovereign guarantees. Will Eritrea give sovereign guarantees to its diaspora community? If they invest in Eritrea, Eritrea won't. Eritrean government deliberately destroyed its construction industry. It destroyed its aviation. Its airline was dismantled. Why? Because government wants to be in control of each and every dollar. So I am not seeing any likelihood of economic growth in Eritrea if sanctions are lifted, which are being lifted. But it's good to see when war ended and Pretoria was signed. We hope that maybe that would lead to improvement in human situation in Eritrea, and the students won't be forced to join Sava while they're studying. But it did not happen. You saw that. that Ethiopia and Eritrea then started fighting again. Not practically fighting, not physically fighting, but tensions are there. So I don't think that lifting of sanctions will lead to change in Eritrean government's policies. Eritrean government needs to change its economic policies, or there should be new people in power in Eritrea. This is the way forward. Let's see what happens. Thanks for watching.